Okay, my name's Zakashi guys, and in this video here we are going to be doing a should you summon for the new Ultra Turles. Now before I go anywhere into this video, I want to tell you guys that this guy releases on Monday the 30th of September. So if you're thinking he's going to drop tonight, or when you're seeing this video on the same day, you stand corrected. He's dropping on the 30th. So you have a bit of time to make your decision, which is obviously good. This guy is a powerful opponent, he's from Sagas from the movies, and he's blue. I'm going to get into his kit in this video. I'm going to give my opinion on whether I think you guys should summon, and I'll also give my opinion on if I'm summoning, and then early in the video I'll give some precursors on things that you should be aware of before you even consider anything about summoning. Hopefully this video is going to be useful. Subscribe and let's get into this, man. Right, so we're going to be going into some precursors before you even decide anything when it comes to summoning on this banner. So first things first, you guys should know that we are going to be having Daima release in October. It's already at the end of September and this guy's releasing on the 30th. Daima is going to be really big. It's Akira Toriyama's last project while he was alive, so I'm really sure they're going to do something amazing with this series. We've got a lot of information regarding Daima, and it's going to be timelined after the Buu saga, so that should tell you that we could get some interesting things, and potentially we might see some interesting ideas. I've heard things about potential ideas relating to GT, but that's just rumors from my point of view right now. Overall, Daima is going to be hype, so you should watch out for that in October, and then of course you should consider yourself to be saving for November when the festival starts as well, so that's a big deal, just the near future to watch out for. That's up to you though. Outside of that, this banner doesn't release until the 30th, so when the banner does drop, you should just probably wait until content creators do showcases. Watch your showcase, because those guys will take the fall for you. Content creators will always take the fall for you, or you could just wait a week or so until everybody's using him or they're not using him. If he's trash, you won't see people using him. If he's good, people will be using him. You can also check the ranked leaderboards. This banner is going to be here, I think, until the 10th of September or the 14th. Don't quote me on that, but it's the start date that really matters. You'll see the end date and you have a lot of time to make your decision. So overall, you're good. You don't need to rush. Don't get the itch to summon on this banner. You've got a lot of time to make that decision. Overall, I advise you to save though, not because he's bad. I'm not judging him. I'm just saying in general, you need to have a decent amount of savings, because when we get into the festival, trust me, you'll probably won't even be looking past Ultra Turles. He won't even be anything in your vision because of the hype stuff they're going to drop in the future. But that's pretty much all I've got to say for precursors regarding this banner. Just be wary of these factors before you go in. I'm not saying he's good or bad yet, but I'm just trying to imply that other things could reach your expectations more than this might have already. Alright, so now we're gonna go into his kit, and usually what I do here is I give a summary of what I think is super important. I feel like reading every single line is very unnecessary. You guys can read, I'm certain you guys can read, but you guys are Dragon Ball fans, so maybe you guys can't read. But the point is to get an overall feel of what his main factors are in his kit, and they've actually summarized it pretty well at the start. I usually make a tweet just writing down everything that's important, but I didn't want to do the essay work. I do have a uni degree, but enough about me anyways. Short and sweet, right? Let's try to keep it short and sweet, because you guys want to know. If you want to read it, you can go to the website dble.bn-ent.net, and then you'll come up with the Ultra Turles thing. But cool. He's a defense type. He's blue. Super good to know. He has comeback. He has a powerful special move art, and he has survivability, so he's going to be healing a lot. That's just the general overview, but I am still going to scroll through and give you guys key points that you want to know. So let's get into this. Alright, cool, let's get it. So like I said, he's blue. These are his tags here: Saiyan's powerful opponents, Turles Crusher Core. Sagas from the movies is where he's from, should go without saying because of the campaign we're in. If we look at his Z ability, it's very important to know that he has a double defense Z ability. Of course, it's an ultra, so it's going to be as usual. Ultimate and awakened damage inflicted. I think sometimes it's special move, but that's just good to point out so you know. His ultra ability isn't powerful opponent. It's based on Sagas from the movies. It's just another ultra, so you guys should know how this works. The strike and the blast arts are quite interesting, because every time you land one of them, you have a chance to reduce the enemy's Dragon Ball, but it's only a 10% chance. But that could be every single arts card. The fact that there's even a chance is crazy. And the strike art's important to note. He has blast armor on it. The blue card to me isn't anything special, but what's good to note is that it seals special move cards for 3 timer counts, so the enemies, and then it has a condition based on the gauge. So if the gauge is 20% or more, which in most cases it will be, you will consume it. And the consumption of anything in this guy's kit is very important, so hold the consumption in mind. You consume 20%, and then as a result you get these effects. So you get the minus 30% enemy sustained damage cut, so you'll be able to do more damage. And then you also go type neutral, which allows you to do more damage if you're fighting against, in this case it will be a green because Turles is blue. And then it always has blast armor, so it's the charging forward type. The green card here, it's the regular like charge type. When you do it standing still, it doesn't have an effect on the enemy, so like a beam or anything like that. Explosive green is not that type. You draw 1 card from it, you get ki from it, damage inflicted, reduces enemy ki, and you reduce the enemy's draw speed as well, which is very, very good. Then there's the condition here based on him having a gauge, so you consume 20%, and then you'll get these effects. So you get draw speed, which cannot be stacked. You also apply the attribute upgrade up to shorten sub count by 3, and this can happen every time you switch, so it affects. And you also cancel attribute downgrades and abnormal conditions. The ultimate art, it nullifies endurance and gives him a damage inflicted buff for its ultimate damage, but then depending on the gauge 20% or more, you get some more damage inflicted buffs. But he also supports his team here, which is really, really good. And then shortens ally sub count by 10. So once you hit that ultimate, your ally sub counts go all the way down pretty much, and you'll be able to switch out immediately. In the scenario maybe you miss or something, it saves you pretty good. It also has blast armor. I really do like the main ability. You're able to draw the ultimate, you get HP and ki from it, quite a bit of ki. You get your vanish to 100%, and then more negative to the enemy damage, sustained damage cut, so you're able to do more damage. Now looking at his unique ability 1, it's actually quite insane. Obviously he has the typical like damage inflicted, reduces damage received, but this part here reduces impact, explode, and pierce damage received by 10%. So he's gonna be quite tanky. You already know he's a defense type, which is obviously just super effective. For him, it fits his kit the way it works, and we already know he has comeback as well. Here on entry, he doesn't get a card on entry, but he's going to destroy an enemy card on entry. He gets more damage inflicted, so in total there was 180 here, so he's going to have 220 with this 40 in additional. Then he's also going to get ki every time he enters, and he gets a blue card every time he enters. I know it's a green card, sorry. Special arts, he gets a green card. This happens 2 times, so the first 2 times he enters, immediately gets a green card, which is actually very useful depending on how you use it. In this case, he's going to be able to get ki, reduce the enemy ki, damage inflicted, depending on what you have. If you consume it, you can get draw speed, which is obviously super effective. 50% of the unique gauge charge rate if there's a defeated battle member, so the unique gauge will actually gradually just charge while he's on the battlefield or on standby. And in this part here, there are some conditions depending on if he's doing offensive things or defensive things. So in this case, if he's using a strike or blast, the 20% of the unique gauge will be filled. It's always 20%. And then this effect resets when he switches or the comeback activates, which is obviously good to note. 50% damage inflicted, and you also give this to the enemy minus 10% health restoration. Then on this case, it's defensive end, so if you're getting hit, 20% again. And then in this case, it resets as well when the comeback activates or you switch. You're going to be gaining health 3%. So like I said, the consumption is super important in general. It's going to be having an effect almost with everything. And you also allow the enemy to take more damage, which is obviously useful for you. He has a strike cover change. That's just kind of basic, you know, nothing crazy. When he changes cover, he's going to consume his own gauge 20%, if it's 20% or more, of course. Then he's going to inflict the enemy with attribute grounding minus 10% to strike and blast arts power, so the enemy will be doing less damage, implying that he's going to be able to tank more, which is obviously as an attribute to his defensive traits. Now here's where it gets real serious. It's about his comeback. So here it basically tells you here's comeback, and then he gets certain things that activate when his comeback is activated. So when his health gets to 0, he's gonna draw 4 cards. If you have 3 or fewer, you get a lot of health, 70%. Now this is something I wanted to talk about a lot. The 70% health is crazy because you're gonna be healing almost all the time through the damage that you take. There's a lot of consumption things that allows him to heal. He's going to be healing a lot, and you'll see that when I get to the bottom of this kit as well. You get 100 ki, which is crazy. Your unique gauge goes to 100, which is crazy, which allows it to be consumed a lot more. 25% damage inflicted, more damage inflicted, minus cost. You basically get nullifying all these effects. So destroy card, reduce ki, which is obviously super useful. You go type neutral permanently against damage sustained, only against the cards you take. And plus 50%. He's also a team buffer. This guy is doing everything. Bro, reduces enemy ki by 100, also takes the whole ki gauge by 100%, take the whole gauge, seals rising rush, inflicting these debuffs, plus 50 for all cards, basically stopping your combo. He's stopping your combo in all senses. Card cost increase, reducing your vanish, taking your key. How greedy. Seals all enemies' main ability as well. The only thing crazier they could have added to this whole thing is to say that he's gonna take like 7 Dragon Balls, bro. How greedy is Turles getting everything off his comeback activating? Activating this guy's comeback is going to be a big hindrance. Be ready to switch out when you do that, bruh. And finally here, gradually charge his own unique gauge over time while his character is on the battlefield. Like I mentioned earlier, the following effects occur every time this consumes a unique gauge. So every time he consumes a unique gauge in some way, shape or form, this is what I was talking about earlier, he's going to gain health. So he gains health the 3% that I spoke about before. He's going to get 10% from this. He heals off the comeback 70%. He's going to get some from, what was it? When he takes damage on the defensive end. Like, bro, he's healing a lot. Effects will not activate if own health reaches 0 after enemy attack. Restores own key by 30. Applies the following effects to self. So cover null off the consumption, which is obviously coming alongside, and he's going to reduce enemy key. Then this part here cancels on attribute downgrades if own remaining health is 30% or below after enemy attack is over, just to end off the kit. So overall, he's not a super offensive prowess at all, but he does have some offensive traits. He's a good support for his teammates, and he's going to have like one of the highest defensive capabilities in the game. Now we've got to the segment that you guys are here for. Do you guys summon? Should you summon? Is he worth it to summon? Let me speak, I gotta break it down. This guy's kit here, if he does have good stats, he is going to reset the game even further. I spoke about this previously in a different video, but essentially I liked the 6th anniversary a lot because everybody was using powerhouse units, implying that there was no survivability. You was using G4, Gogeta Blue, fusing Super Vegito. These are just units that are just powerhouses with no survivability, no endurance, no comeback, no I already said endurance, revival. There's none of that. It's just damage dealing. But now, with this guy here who's a super healer, we already have Omega Shenron who's just got the indestructible as well. We've got 2 indestructible units on powerful opponents together. Whew, that's a mess. But this guy's healing factor is absolutely absurd. And having to get past his indestructible when he's already super tanky and going to be healing, then when you get past it, he goes back to 70%. Is this like an Elden Ring boss? Come on, man, take it easy. Now, because of that, we're going to go into a survivability type of meta, which is what I'm predicting. And that would mean that a lot of people are going to be building teams that simply revolve around surviving for a large amount of time accounts. I personally hate when PvPs like that, but that's what it's going to be looking like. People are already doing that with Omega Shenron, Raid Shenron, Evil Majin Buu, Ultimate Gohan, Kid Buu. You see these factors here, and this guy's just adding to that. So powerful opponents is going to go up in value, and I think if you are a powerful opponent user, because of all those reasons, this guy's going to have some insane stock. His element's pretty good as well. There's not many good greens. Omega Shenron is just one of the few. Ultra Gohan's trying to make a comeback, but he's not predominant like anybody else. Evil Majin Buu, he's more of like the defensive unit that you run, but he can do some damage. You know, it's really just Omega Shenron, but he's on the same teams as him. So powerful opponents is really good for this guy. This guy's going to have some high stock given that his stats are also on par with the way his kit works. I presume for the first couple days people are going to say Turles is not good. He also faces the bias of being Turles. He's not a popular character in comparison to a lot of others. So his value is really going to be determined on if he's actually good or not. Overall, for powerful opponents, good choice. Now, Sagas from the movies is just not a good enough team in comparison to powerful opponents. It's not a bad team though, I'm just comparing the two. Sagas from the movies is very valuable, but I feel like if you're a Sagas from the movies guy, you don't need this guy as much as if he was a powerful opponent guy. Sagas from the movies is very good though for obvious reasons. They have Ultra Golden Frieza who will probably make a comeback because he also has revival, and I just spoke about survivability. So I feel like for powerful opponents, it's just a green light nonetheless. But if you are a movies main, you might want to wait more than anything else. But that doesn't mean you should summon either way. There's still those other factors that I spoke about, such as Daima and the festival upcoming. So I would say for everybody, just to take it easy and wait maybe a couple days. Like I said, it comes out on the 30th. Wait maybe 4 days, 5 days, see what the meta is looking like, what content creators are saying, and tier list, so on and so forth. And if it suits your playstyle of being super defensive and you like it, cool. He's going to be good for you. I see this guy definitely being good. People are going to build him defensively, and with the teammates that he's got as well. I didn't even talk about any of the the Turles core, he could actually be very valuable. So overall, I think he will be worth it, but I don't think you should pull the trigger instantly, even though for at least powerful opponent, this guy's going to be up there. Now you're asking me if I'm going to summon. I'm not going to summon. I'm having fun saving. I'm almost at 50,000 chrono crystals, and it's not even about Turles being good or bad. He's just not a character I care about. I play the game based on things I enjoy. If I do summon for Turles, somebody drop me some money. You know, outside of that, it's not something that I care about, so I'm not going to summon. That's how I play the game. You should play the game how you want to enjoy the game. Turles is not something I was on my knees begging for, ever waiting for. He was not on my mind until the movies campaign even started, so I'm not gonna act like I'm his #1 fan. His ink does look good though. His ink does look good. His animations were a bit mediocre, and his kit doesn't have any crazy mechanic to make me go, oh my god, but he's gonna be a good asset because of his survivability. Nonetheless, I cannot deny that. So I think he's gonna be pretty good, but I'm just not gonna summon unless someone drop me some money. But yeah, overall, that's just my take on it and what I'm going to be doing, in case you were curious. But yeah, man, that's going to be the end of the video. Let me know in the comment section whether you guys are going to be summoning or skipping Ultra Turles, or you're going to be following the advice of just waiting, because that's probably the best option. It's always the best option if I'm being real, because the banners are not running away. They've got expiration dates, but they don't leave instantly, you know. I already gave you my stance in it and what I think you guys should be doing. Overall, I do like his kit though, and I'm very happy about the way he came out, because it would be a complete snub if they didn't drop Turles. Having him drop the whole team, the whole gang, then drop a Goku was a complete disrespect, but he got the respect back because he got the highest rarity in the game, so shout out to him. But that's going to be it for the video. Hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you haven't already, make sure to press that subscribe button. We're on this grind to 100,000 subscribers. I appreciate you guys for watching, man. My name is Zakashi, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one, man.